Here's a niche brand that I've been wanting to delve into. This is my very first mention of the brand of Kemi on this channel. So let's get things started. Let's see what we get out of Jabir. Family, welcome to the Revolver channel. I'm your host, Mark. This series of Taking a Test Drive is where I test drive a scent through a sample. I wear this scent as much as the sample lets me. It is my scent of the day today, and I'm going to give you as much detail as I can on this release and give you my final thoughts if I'm going to be buying this one. So if you're new here, thanks for watching. Subscribe to support the channel. Hit that bell so you don't miss anything. I'm also all over social media with my YouTube handle name, Robes08. You can keep tabs on me behind the scenes that include my set of the day post, new purchases, and what I'm working on for this channel. Now, if you have a Facebook account, you can follow me, but also I have a Facebook group called Fragrance Guru Nation. We're up to 18,000 members. We discuss new releases, fragrances, obviously, buy, sell, swap. You discover new YouTubers, things like that. So if you're in this hobby like I am, it's a great tool for you. Now on to the star of the show. Obviously, as the title suggests, you already know I'm taking a test drive of Jabir by the house of Kemi. I love that bottle design, the presentations. Whew, those are hot. I need to get a few bottles of this brand. This sample wasn't a sample that I searched out. I didn't purchase it myself, actually. This sample comes from luckyscent, and we all know those luckyscent samples. It was actually one thrown in with the purchase. So I call these POS samples, piece of S. You know what that means. It is my first mention of the brand on my channel. So it's not something that I was searching out, and it's not my first choice if I wanted a sample from the brand, to be quite honest. Looking at the note breakdown, and I will get into it a little bit more in regards to what I get from this sample, obviously, in this video. So let's get into under the hood. Let's take a look at some stats on this one. It was released back in 2014. Concentrations eau de parfum. The nose is Chris Maurice. Major notes to my nose: peony, freesia, and oud. So already with the major notes, you can see, obviously I love oud, but florals, man, they go either way with me. Florals, it all depends. Some of them really go more feminine for me. I love a lot of florals. I love my roses, I love jasmine, I love a lot of florals, but sometimes it just gets too feminine. And this is what I'm gonna get into in this video. So I still have my sample, my little dabber, my POS here. I will finish my dab, and I'm just going to soak this all up here, and I'm done with this sample. So my day with the scent. So in the opening, this scent, the florals take over, and that's bad news bears for me. You have peony, you got freesia, and you have rose. Those are your major factors in this release. Peony is a fantasy note here, as the scent profile cannot be extracted from the flower. However, in Jabir, it shows a bright white, creamy floral quality with a bit of pepper, but also a fruity raspberry note from the peony note. I believe Kemi did a great job to make the note realistic as they could. So I can already tell from this sample and my initial impression of this brand, not only am I judging the scent in particular, but I'm judging the brand too, the nose behind it, and seeing what type of quality am I expecting for this price range, because it is high end as far as price range. So I'm really looking at what this brand is releasing. Even their worst release, I'm always dissecting that kind of stuff. So I felt, as far as a fantasy note of peony in here, they really did a great job to make the note realistic as they could. This is paired with a freesia note that gives you more of a soft, powdery, floral aspect with a tinge of citrus qualities. I felt a green soapy quality here, and that could be attested to the rose. And I was also thinking it was a jammy rose at times because of the raspberry note from the peony. Perhaps it is from the rose, because obviously rose can do that at times, be a little jammy. Very much floral centric in the opening. The florals, of course, are up front and center in this opening, and you're gonna need to like florals to enjoy this one, especially at this price tag. If you don't like florals, like especially as a man, if rose makes you squint and you're just like, oh, florals on a guy, no, what are you doing? No, don't try this one. I'm okay with the rose note here, but the peony and the freesia combo here wasn't up my alley, to be quite honest. The oriental feeling starts warming up within minutes of application, and the most notable note is the oud. And damn, it's a barnyard cheesy like oud. It turns the scent to a straight up floral to something interesting to me. It made me go, what? What? And I'm getting that cheesy feeling right here. And it really reminds me, of course, of some ouds that are utilized in some of the Xerjoffs, higher quality ouds, to be quite honest. But the oud itself is very faint. It feels like somebody cut off its balls, to be quite honest. Very much in the back end of this scent. It really is trying to emphasize the florals to me. It does its job. As throughout smelling the scent, my nose wanted more oud. I was more interested in it. I was waiting for it. I was kind of craving it. I was like, come on out. You know, blast those florals out. Never did. In the heart, more of the same, to be quite honest. This thing, very much linear. The florals are your number one in this scent. I felt you continue to get that powdery freesia. Not really powdery, but it's there. And the raspberry peony with the soft rose tendencies. The patchouli joins the show, helps some of the green that you got from the rose up top. So a little greener. The vanilla pops through too, gives the scent some sweetness, but it's fairly tame as a note. And the oud itself turned up a very small notch, but it turned up a bit, which kind of teased me a bit, but still very much in the background. So overall, I felt as my first real sniff of the brand of Kemi, as a brand, this may not be the best sample for me to start off my journey, to be quite honest. Mostly floral tendencies here, but I have high hopes with the quality of the oud, which makes me think, okay, these guys are serious. And I'm very much hopeful I can find something more near my wheelhouse of the brand. So this is a double-edged sword. I didn't like this one. This is not bottle worthy for me. However, turning the key to that, I felt the oud itself, and just pinpointing the oud, I felt, okay, let's see what else they have to offer, because that was a fantastic oud. It just needed the volume turned up. And I saw a review, fellow fragrance reviewer, Fragrance Journey. Shout out to him. Great channel, niche indie, great nose. A guy that I just actually watch his videos to discover more fragrances. This is what this journey is all about, by the way. If he's watching, FJ, great channel. Shout out to you. I love your channel. It actually made me recently look and discover new brands. So kudos to him. But this right here, this brand, got to check out more. But this one, felt it was more of a flop on my end. Now let's get into the Revolver, where I talk about seasons, day-night performance, versatility. Let's go seasons first and foremost. This one, I think as far as seasons go, I want to pinpoint spring, just because florals and spring, they just go hand in hand, but also fall. I felt it does have enough of the backbone, especially that cheesy oud, even though there's not much to it. As far as the backbone goes, I feel it would be best for those, and you can even wear this in the winter. I feel like if I had a proper bottle of this stuff and I could wear enough of it, I think this thing would have some push to it. Day or night, I feel like this is more of a nighttime scent than a daily wear. Versatility, I think for it, the cheesy oud will turn a lot of people off, but for the people that kind of like that stuff, it'll be fairly average as far as versatility goes. Performance, good. Longevity was 7 to 9 hours with above average projection. So there was no issues there. I feel like, again, Lucky Scent samples, you know, you got to know what you're doing with the sample, with the little dabber. You're not, especially when I'm trying to get a couple wearings out of them instead of just one and swim in them. I know that maybe with an atomizer and a few more sprays, this thing may come out winning instead of, so you got to keep that as far as your audience goes with what you're working with. So at the end of the day, if you're into florals, you're into high quality ouds, and I'm saying this is a high quality oud, you'll be into this one. It's bottle worthy. I felt, even though I felt some of the quality here reminds me a little bit of a Xerjoff release, to be quite honest, of their Oud Stars line. So if you kind of like the Oud Stars line from Xerjoff, this kind of felt that way. And Xerjoff has some really good florals, and some of their Oud Stars are really, really good too. But this is not my favorite type of scent. Quality, she's there. Honestly, it is, but more of a pass for me than anything. I don't think this one is really that popular from the line, and I can see why. So now I got to test out the more popular stuff, right? Let's see what I get. So if I had to give it a score currently, and obviously putting my own taste in the back end and think about quality and stuff like that, I would have to give this one 7 bottles out of 10. It's a solid release. It's just not up my wheelhouse. Too floral, but it puts a smile on my face because I think this is going to be a brand that I may get a bottle or two depending on what they have released. So it piques my interest, and that goes to all of you out there. If you've tried this fragrance, you bought this fragrance, you smelt this fragrance, I'd love to see your comments below. Let us know what you think about this release, good or bad. You can disagree with what I think about this particular release. There's no fault on that. And while we're at it, let's talk about this brand, because this is my first taste. You know, I've seen these bottles, I've seen people reviewing them, I just haven't really delved into them. And this is what the journey is all about. So what should I be checking out? So as always, a great pour fragrance will make a lasting impression. Choose your scent wisely. Thanks for watching, YouTube. Have a good one.